Donald Trump seems to understand that his immunity case that will be heard by the Supreme Court in the coming weeks is probably the last best hope that he has to not get a criminal conviction. And because of that, Donald Trump has, of course, been going around on Truth Social. He's been mentioning it in his rallies. And in a lengthy interview with Sean Hannity this past Thursday evening, Donald Trump decided to start what I would call bullying the Supreme Court to let them know that they had better do what he wants them to do and give him immunity, or else. Here is what Donald Trump said in that interview with Hannity. He started by saying, "We put on 3 great justices, and you have some other great justices up there, and they're not going to take the vote away from the people." Now that, of course, is referencing his, 14th Amendment challenge. But then he went on and said this. Hannity actually gave him the opportunity to make a closing statement about your campaign, and instead Trump said, I think very important before we do this, because you were talking about the Supreme Court, they have 2 votes that are very important coming up. One, as we discussed, we call it Colorado or whatever. But, I really believe they're going to leave the people to vote again. You're the leading candidate in both parties. You're leading the Democrats by many, many points. I mean, it's hard to imagine they would do, and most states have already approved it. As you know, very few states have done that. This is Colorado and a couple of others at the moment, but they have another important, and that's immunity for the President of the United States. And I'm not talking about myself. He then goes on several, minutes to trash President Biden, but then he gets to his point. If a president is afraid to act because they're worried about being indicted when they leave office, a president of the United States has to have immunity, and the Supreme Court's going to be ruling on that. If they don't have immunity, no president is going to act. You're going to have guys that just sit in office and are afraid to do anything. So that, of course, is Donald Trump signaling to the court like, hey, you don't want to have a president that just sits around and does nothing. The fate of the country is in your hands. Whether or not a president can do their job is in your hands. And none of that is even true. As I've repeatedly said, and I'm going to keep repeating it because Trump keeps repeating his lie, the Supreme Court is not taking on a case to determine if a president is immune from any and all prosecutions under every circumstance. Presidential immunity is in fact enshrined into the United States Constitution itself. That is a given. The issue here is whether or not Donald Trump tried to overthrow the results of the 2020 election as a candidate or as a president. If he did it as a president, the court's probably going to say he's immune. If he did it as a candidate, he absolutely does not enjoy any immunity. And just as an added bonus here, we already know that the Trump campaign, via Donald Trump's direction, was the entity that was organizing the fake electors. So I think it's pretty, clear cut. If we had a fair Supreme Court, Trump was doing it as a candidate because he did it through his campaign. He did not use his administration. He did not use political appointees. He did it through his campaign. Therefore, it was the action of a candidate, not a president. Pretty simple if you ask me. And if we had a decent Supreme Court, it wouldn't even be an issue. But Trump is trying to not only muddy the waters about what the case is about, he is trying to bully the Supreme Court. He is trying to convince them that he put them there. And if you don't do what I need you to do, then by golly, the President of the United States, well, that's just a figurehead position at that point. They'll never do anything again. Do you want to be responsible for destroying democracy, you people I put on the court? That is the key. He's reminding them who put them there. But those justices likely also remember there isn't a dang thing that Donald Trump can do to them. Nothing. Oh, what's he going to get on Truth Social and say that they're mean and stupid and he doesn't like them? Maybe. It just actually makes him look dumber because he's the one who put them there. So they can be bullied, sure, and it may impact them. It absolutely might. But if they remember, of course, that nothing can happen to them, Trump has no power over them, neither does Congress, then maybe, just maybe, they'll do the right thing. I'm not holding my breath, but there's always a chance, right? Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena, and Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.